Okay, so good afternoon everyone. So today I will be presenting about the importance of the context in English use, which is a combined task from English language awareness TSLB 3273 and then storytelling in the primary SL TSLB 3483. So to begin with my presentation, I would like to say that when we learn language, grammar and vocabulary and comprehension are important, but without the context, we rarely understand what is the story about. Without context, language becomes confusing, lifeless, and confusing and lifeless. With context, English can become more alive, practical, and engaging. So here's I show you why context matters in English language learning. Language meaning depends on the situation and culture. The same word or phrase can mean different things depending on when, where, and how it is used. And then context supports comprehension, grammar, and vocabulary. Students understand ideas more easily, see how grammar works naturally, and remember words better when language is taught in the context. And lastly, stories are powerful tools to show this in teaching. Stories provide real-life situations and cultural settings that make language learning meaningful and engaging. So here, let's recall what are the contexts in English language. For the first one, I choose situational context. Language used in real-life situation and immediate circumstance, while cultural context is shaped by tradition, customs, and social values of the community. And then for situational context, daily experiences, emotion, action, and interaction. Lastly, improve practical communication, builds confidence, and develop empathy. And for the cultural context, belief, practice, family structure, food, festival, and lifestyle. And also build intercultural awareness, respect for diversity, and deeper understanding of the meaning. And stories can make learning English fun, meaningful, and easy to understand. So today, I will show you guys that we can learn situational context through Ugly Duckling and cultural context in Goldilocks and Three Bears. From the story of the Ugly Duckling, we got to learn that how a story can be situational. Why is that? Character situation. The duckling is rejected in one environment, which is farmyard, but celebrated in another with swans. His identity depends on the situation. And then we have reader situation. Children may see it as a bullying lesson. Adults may connect it to personal growth. And as for social situation, in school, workplace, or community, the story highlights different values. And next, how the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears can be cultural. This story reflects that respect for other people's property, which is Goldilocks is the representative of a person that doesn't abide by the cultural rules, which is she enters the house without permission. And then the cultural symbolism, bears are presented like humans, father, mother, and baby, which is common in European folktales. And custom and lifestyle, which is eating porridge for breakfast, using furniture like chairs, beds, and private space. It's reflecting Western home life. And alongside our learning of context, these stories also help in grammar, vocabulary, and comprehension. As you can see here, the importance of situational context in English language use. Context supports grammar. Grammar rules are clearer when taught in meaningful context. For example, he was bullied in a farmyard. Past tense, passive voice, makes sense in the duckling situations. Without context, grammar can feel abstract and confusing. Next, we have context support vocabulary. Words gain meaning depending on the setting. For example, duckling in the storybook is ugly as an adjective describing feelings. Students remember vocabulary better when it's connected to character, event, and emotion in a story. And lastly, context supports comprehension. Students understand better when word and expression are tied to real-life settings. And next, we move on to the importance of cultural context in English use. For the ugly duckling, teaching structure like was too hot, too cold, just right, comparative and superlative makes more sense inside the Goldilocks story content. Past tense narration, she went into the house, she sat on the chair, feels natural within the story. And then we have context support vocabulary, which is words like porridge, cottage, bed, chair are tied to cultural objects. Students can learn them faster than connected of the story world. For like expression just right, gain cultural meaning beyond literal translation. And then context support comprehension, students understand new stories, ideas better when they see how culture shapes meaning. And then, why context is important for student learning? First one is better understanding. Context helps students make sense of a new language instead of just memorizing rules. And then practical grammar use. Students see how grammar works in real communication, not only exercise. And then we have improved communication skills, which is students learn how to choose the right words and expression for different situations. And lastly, we have cultural awareness, which is context shows how English is connected to cultural values and behavior. And we move on to the next one, which is why context is important to teachers' teaching. As you can see here, we have a simplified grammar teaching. Instead of explaining rules abstractly, teachers can show grammar naturally through stories and situations. And then we have make lessons meaningful. Teaching with context connect language to real life use, making lessons more relevant. And then we have encourages active learning. Context-based teaching allows role play, storytelling, and problem-solving activities that engage students. And then we have promote cultural integration. Teachers can use stories and real-life context to introduce cultural aspect to the aspect of English. As we know, like in the Goldilocks, even bears shown as human-like characters to reflect European folktale tradition. And then we go for the conclusion, which is context give meaning to language, situation, and culture. And then context supports comprehension, grammar, and vocabulary. Also, context helps students learn more effectively and stay motivated. Context also helps teachers make lessons clearer, engaging, and relevant. And lastly, we have story and real-life situation are powerful tools to bring context into the classroom. And this is all my references from what I have researched and presented. That's all for me. Thank you.